Joining us now to discuss Ambassador Danon. He's Israel's ambassador to the United Nations. Mr. Ambassador, thanks so much for joining us. It's pretty alarming to think that here in the United States, a 57% increase in anti-Semitic incidents in 2017, and now this, the deadliest anti-Semitic attack in American history. How do you think we got here?
Good afternoon, Wolf. Unfortunately, anti-Semitism is on the rise, not only in Europe, but also here in the US. And we are very happy with the technology and the social media, but unfortunately, it is a very effective tool to promote hatred, to incite, and we saw the results only last Saturday when an insane murderer entered the synagogue in the middle of a service. We need to take action. You know, the condemnations are very important, and we appreciate that, but I think we should speak about the next step, how we can prevent the next massacre. And I think we should do two things. First of all, I think we should make sure that you have more security in synagogues. It is unfortunate when I walk into a synagogue in France or in London, I see security. It is not the case in the United States, and I think we have no other option but to put more guards, more security in synagogues. And the second issue is monitoring the social media of potential terrorists. We do it in Israel, and we are able to prevent many cases of people who want to commit a crime. We prevent it, and I think if in the US, you will find a mechanism to do that. And I'm aware of you have freedom of speech, but it's not freedom of hate. So you need to find the mechanism, the ethical, legal mechanism to monitor those who plan to kill innocent people.
I know Israel has a lot of experience in dealing with terrorism, with violence, and I'm told that the Prime Minister is now putting together a group of Israeli experts to come here to the United States to work with the American Jewish community to help strengthen security at Jewish institutions, at synagogues, schools, Jewish community centers. Tell us about what the Prime Minister has in mind.
We offer support to the Jewish community worldwide, but we expect that the authorities will take care of the security of the Jewish people. That is the case in Europe, and that is the case of the United States. We will not replace the authorities, and I believe that the authorities with the Jewish community will need to sit down. We can give them some of our experience, hands-on experience that we have how to do it, but the responsibility is for the US government and for the Jewish community to find a way to promote a better environment for the people who come and pray in the shuls.
The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had this message for the people of Pittsburgh, and I'll quote him. After the Holocaust, many hoped that anti-Semitism would finally be relegated to the dustbin of history. It wasn't. While these attacks are nothing new in the history of our people, what is new is our ability to fight back against the anti-Semites. So where do you think all of us go from here?
I think, now in a week, the Jewish tradition, we have a week of Shiva, where we focus on mourning and praying for the sword of the death. So we will take our time, but a week from today, we will have to sit down and see what we are doing practically to prevent the next massacre. It happened in Charleston in 2015 in a church. It happened a few days ago in Pittsburgh. We don't want to speak in a few months or a year if something like that will happen again. So I think monitoring social media is crucial, and adding security to the synagogues.
Yeah, it's a dangerous situation right now. I know you've been in the United States for a while. Did you ever think you would see anything like this here in the United States?
In 2014, I was back then Deputy Minister of Defense, and I entered a synagogue in Jerusalem after a similar attack, and I will never forget those horrible pictures. I never imagined that I will come to the US, and in 2018, we will see similar pictures of a Holocaust survivor being killed while practicing their religion in the United States.
Yeah, and you just heard once again that awful sound at Charlottesville when you heard those neo-Nazis declaring Jews will not replace us. And at the time, it was very depressing to a lot of people that President Trump, in his response to what was going on in Charlottesville, said there were very fine people on both sides. What would be, I know you're not going to give advice to the President of the United States and you're a diplomat, but give us your reaction when you hear that kind of stuff.
Well, we will not go into your politics. We have enough politics in Jerusalem, and I think this issue should be above politics, but we should not allow those hatred to be around us. We heard those chants. We heard Louis Farrakhan only 2 weeks ago speaking against the Jews, and he is welcomed in many communities. He's welcomed by the media sometimes. So those people should be denounced. We should not accept this language, because we see first they speak against the Jews, then they tweet against the Jews. At the end, they enter and kill Jewish people.
Yeah, Louis Farrakhan said that the Jews were maybe not Semites, but termites, called them termites, which was clearly an awful, awful statement on his part. Ambassador Danon, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Wolf.